How much should a hypnotist charge for their first client and subsequent clients? Well, I have a YouTube video about that. You should definitely check that out because I go into more detail. But really that depends on you, Victoria, and where you, sometimes it can depend on where you live, and sometimes it can just depend on the individual. Now, when I say it depends on where you live, and this may be shocking to you, but I would look around, find out what the local hypnotherapists are charging, if there are any, and usually there are, and I would charge more than them. Now, that's the part that might be shocking. Now, why do I say that? Why would you charge more than them? Well, it's to set yourself apart. My grandfather on my dad's side used to say, distinguish yourself from the crowd. And an easy way to distinguish yourself from the crowd of hypnotherapists is to set yourself a little higher, price-wise. You know, the way to separate yourself, a quick and easy way, is to make yourself a little bit more expensive. This does two things. Number one, it sets the standard in the consumer's mind. It shows them that, hey, this person really values themselves. You know, they're not out there, trying to get clients, begging for clients, trying to be the low cost bidder, trying to be the cheapest. They apparently have, it seems like, at least they have something to offer. They pride themselves. And the other thing it does is it allows you to get access to their friends who also can afford you. So think about that. When you have a client and you charge them more than the average going rate, you tap into a higher market, a market that's willing to pay for more exclusive, potentially better treatment. And because you'll be making more money, you will be able to have a nicer place. You'll be able to pay for your ongoing training, so you'll be able to use that money for good. And it becomes sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy of sorts, because the fact that you're charging more money gives you more money, so you're able to step things up. You're able to take seminars. You're able to make your place nicer if you're seeing clients in person. You're able to feel better about yourself. You're able to eat better, to live better, to have a better life. And so you separate yourself from the crowd. It sends out a signal to the world that, hey, this is not the bargain basement hypnotist. This is a person who respects themselves. And so I always do that. I'm always making sure that I'm fine. And now it's a global community, so I find out what the global community is charging, and I make it a little bit more than that. And why is that? Is it that I'm the greatest in the world and that you're not going to find better hypnosis anywhere? No, it's that my time is very valuable. And when I look at it mathematically, the time that I spend with a client, which is 2 hours for the first session, now I charge $25,000 for a 2-hour session, but the 2 hours I'm spending with that client, they are taking me away from creating a program. If I spent 2 hours creating a program, over the course of my life, I would make a lot more money than that from that 2 hours. But they want that 2 hours to themselves. They can have it, but it's going to come at a premium. Now, I always say they can get a recording for, one of my recordings a lot cheaper than that, or they can go somewhere else if they want to, but my time is valuable. And so when you start to respect yourself at that level, and when you start to respect your own time, and when you start to show that to the world, they start to respect you more. And so that's what I would do. And you're going to find that you can grow a quality and sizable client list very quickly. Now, when I was in Beverly Hills, when I had my office in Beverly Hills, back then I was only charging $250 for the first session, 2-hour session. I would make that a minimum. I mean, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, wait a minute, $25,000, I don't know. Well, that can work against you if you don't have a reputation. If you just show up today and you're charging $25,000 and you need that money to support yourself and you don't have any clients for a year, that could work against you. I understand that. Whereas a steady flow of clients at a lesser price could work for you. So minimum $250 for a 2-hour session. And then I used to charge $150 for follow-ups. That's what I charged in the year, I think it was 2001 to 2004, 2000 to 2004 when I had my office in Beverly Hills. So back then I was charging $250 for a 2-hour session. So I would never go any lower than that, no matter where you live, middle of Oklahoma, doesn't matter. Don't go any lower than that. People will find the money for things that they value, and then work on as your confidence improves and as your income improves and as you're able to get out of your day job, if you have one, as that improves, then you can move this up, because it's just not going to make any mathematical sense anymore to charge a low amount. I moved mine up from, I think initially when I started it was like $30 an hour or for 2 hours, then $50 for 2 hours, then $150 for 2 hours, then $250 for 2 hours, then $2,500 for 2 hours. Now it's $25,000 for 2 hours. So I've incrementally moved it up over time, but I would not go back to anything below $250 if I were you, because I was getting that back in 2000. So don't go below that, and always look for being the most expensive hypnotherapist, at least in your local area. All right, so there we have it, and I appreciate your questions. Oh, Victoria also asked what I charge for follow-ups. So $25,000 for the first session, $15,000 for follow-ups. I think I covered all that, but when I did $2,500, it was $2,500 for the first session, and then $1,500 for follow-ups. So I always make the follow-ups are only an hour. That's why they're not paying as much. So I hope that helps.